All right. So fun to hear where everyone is coming from. If you haven't had a chance, put in the chat where you're hopping on from. And I just want to welcome you to our show up Monday night huddle, whatever we want to call it. It's just so fun to see you guys. And you guys are the troopers. You're sticking in for the long haul. We are coming in on what, like 3 weeks left about. So just proud of you guys for hopping on with us. And I want to celebrate you guys. And at the end of this call, I'm going to give you some time to just share with us how you've been showing up for yourself, for your family, how the Show Up Challenge is helping you in your life. So be thinking about that. It could be little things like maybe you're drinking an extra glass of water every day, or maybe you're just being a little bit more patient with your family or sticking to your program better. So be thinking about what is changing for you as we go into the holidays. This is such a great time to just refocus, have those clear goals going into the holidays. That's one thing that I would really encourage you guys to know what you want to create going into the holidays, because it's sneaking up on us and we're creating that new identity on how we handle the holidays, how we celebrate, what we do, how we show up. And so if you have not been doing the Show Up Challenge very diligently, it's not too late. We still have a few weeks. You can start tracking, you can start being consistent with those goals. And it's just so fun to see you guys from all over Montana, Utah, Wisconsin, all over. So you know what? It's not even too late to invite a friend to do this with you. Finish this out these last few weeks, just going strong into the holidays. So I want you to think about what you're creating for yourself. How do you want to show up at that Halloween party? How do you want to show up at the Christmas party on Thanksgiving Day? How do you want to feel after that Thanksgiving meal? How are you showing up for yourself? I want you to have that clear picture. All right, so a quick topic I want to cover with you that I've been thinking about is, are you proactive or reactive? What type of person are you in general? I want you to think about that. How do you handle situations? Think about the last time someone cut you off in traffic, or that you had to stand in a long line, or that someone brought a plate of cookies over and put it in front of you, or you got caught off guard. Maybe you forgot your healthy snacks and left for the day. How did you handle that? How did you handle last time one of your kids, or husband said something that maybe didn't sit well with you? Did you react, or were you proactive in that situation? So think about the last time that you caught yourself, whether you caught yourself reacting or thinking and pausing first. And that's one of the things that I love from Dr. A's Habits of Health book is he talks about that. He talks about being above and below the line, below the line is where we react quickly. We don't think, things are happening to us. Everything's happening to us. When we are proactive, that's when we shift above the line and we're able to be conscious and make a choice out of consciousness. And you know what? Sometimes we make choices that maybe don't move us forward, but it was a conscious choice. It wasn't a reaction. And so that's the first step, is just becoming conscious and aware of our thinking. That's where the power lies, is in that consciousness. So I want to tell you about a couple things that happened this past weekend that made me think about this topic. So we got a new puppy this summer, and her name's Luna, and I've never been a dog person at all. So I'm learning a lot about dogs. I'll show you a picture of her. She's super cute. So there she is. And she's very calm. When other dogs bark at her, she doesn't bark back. She's very, just loving. But I've noticed that a lot of other dogs, like if a dog starts barking, they automatically start barking back. And we live out in the country, and sometimes I'll hear the neighbor dog start barking, which makes the other neighbor's dog start barking. And pretty soon we have all these dogs barking. And that is such a great example of reaction, because one person does it or one dog does it, the others join in. And so just like a dog, do we react when someone snaps at us? Do we snap back? Or do we pause and think? Another thing that happened is I have this big van, like a 12-passenger van, and we went to St. George this weekend. And sometimes there's kind of a blind spot in my van. If I don't really check, sometimes there can be a car in the other lane. And so one time, actually on our way home from St. George yesterday, I was getting over, probably didn't check well enough. And I noticed, oh, as I was getting over, there's a car in that blind spot. So I swerved back, and that car was not very happy with me. Some gestures happened to me. Like he got in front of me and put on his brakes, and like just really like for miles, he couldn't let that go. And it was totally an accident. I said sorry, but he reacted in that way. It just had to like ruin his whole day. And there wasn't an accident, but often that happens. Have you ever been cut off from in traffic and just reacted in that way? And did it ruin your day? So how can that apply to our health goals? Because what we think becomes what we do. And so one thing that I love that Dr. Anderson does, he always talks about how he creates a pause before he responds. So he says, if he goes into a meeting, he always has a water bottle with him. And before he responds, sometimes someone might say something that he just wants to respond, the first thing that comes to his mind. But no, he will take a drink of water and then respond. He creates a pause. So whether it be on how we're responding to things in our life or choices that we're making on our health journey, what if we just created a space? And like Dr. Anderson says, we stop, we challenge, and we choose. Wouldn't that really bring empowerment to our lives if we stopped instead of reacted, that we were proactive? And so a couple other ways that I can think of that really help to be proactive is planning ahead. As we go into the holidays, I want you to think about the next party you're going to. What if you just showed up unprepared? Put in the chat if you have an event coming up. What's the next event coming up, the holiday event that maybe you're a little worried about? Or it might be a trip you're going on, but what if you just show up unprepared? How do you think that's going to go? Or what if you were proactive and you planned ahead? Maybe you called ahead and asked what food was going to be served, and can I bring a salad? One thing I always do is I always bring a side dish, a salad or a veggie side dish. Everyone loves it. Even if they don't ask me to, I just always bring something healthy. That way I know that there'll be something healthy there. So planning ahead is a way that we can be proactive in our health. Planning ahead whenever we leave the house, taking our water with us, making sure we have our healthy snacks with us, planning how long we'll be gone. Maybe if you're going on a trip, thinking about what you'll do for exercise, being proactive. We got some Halloween parties, Twilight. All right, so I want you to think about coming up into the holidays. Do you want to show up proactive or reactive? Do you want life to happen to you or for you? When we are proactive, life happens for us. Things happen for us because we are aware of that and we're creating that. And so I would love to hear, whoever is brave and wants to come off mute, I would love to hear what wins for the week. How are you showing up better? Or if you've thought of a way that you want to show up better going into the holidays, how you can be more proactive in your health. I would love to hear some wins for the week, or how you plan on being more proactive going into the holidays instead of reactive. Anyone want to share? Melissa, do you want to unmute yourself? Thank you.
Okay. Definitely, I am a reactive person, or I have been, but I'm definitely changing that. I've been working on self-awareness a lot more and just really getting to learn more about who I am as a person. And so I'm not really worried about some upcoming or the holidays or anything. Right now, I'm just kind of sitting with myself and detaching from things and people and just being okay with me and just really trying to connect with me right now.
I love that. So you're becoming more conscious and aware of you and your thoughts and just being okay with that. I love that.
Mhm.
And I love how you said that you're naturally a reactive person. Some of us are more reactive naturally and it takes more work. But as we know, this brain in between our two eyes, that muscle in between our eyes, that brain, the more we practice, the more automatic it is. And so it won't take as much effort to be proactive instead of, just automatically reacting. So the more we practice it, the easier it gets. And pretty soon our reactions are actually in a positive way. And so I love that, that first step is just becoming conscious and aware of your own self. Awesome. Anyone else want to share?
Liz, I can say something.
Thanks, Amber.
I think that we don't even need to necessarily label ourselves as like a reactive person or more of a proactive person. The book, 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, Jim Dethman talks about that 95% of people are below the line 95% of the time. So we're all reactive people. Like, don't look now. Melissa, you are not alone, because welcome to planet Earth. So I would say it's just that practice of like being able to catch yourself, like be aware of that reactive nature that we all have and like coming back to center. So I definitely have been trying to catch myself a little faster. Like someone said something to me, like even like probably half an hour ago, and I was just like, and I just like took a deep breath and, just try to get back to center, and then you're fine, so I just wanted to throw that in.
That's so true. We're always shifting, and we recognize the more conscious we're aware we are, we can shift back, and I love that it's not a bad place to be below the line, but it's so empowering, like when we can recognize and do a shift. And one thing that Amber said that I loved is she talked about how she is like just almost creating space there. And Viktor Frankl has a quote that basically says, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And Jared could quote it for me, but basically, if we create space between the action and how we respond, that's where the power lies. That's where freedom is. And so just that deep breath that you did, Amber, sometimes you just have to like take a deep breath instead of responding, and it's creating that space. And so we talk a lot about like our buffers, like processing that emotion and then creating space. That's where the freedom lies instead of just reacting right then. All right. Any other thoughts? Or I would love to hear wins for the week, how you're showing up during this challenge a little bit better, what you're focusing on.
Looks like Polly is trying.
Yes, Polly, do you want to share?
You're muted still, Polly. You had it and then you put it back. There you go.
Okay. This is my first time to let you see me, and I didn't even comb my hair.
You're beautiful, Polly.
Last minute, but my sister is on this journey with me. She's the one that I've been doing the show up report with. She's lost 50 pounds. I started later, so I've only lost 20, but our goal is the same. And I'm going to St. George and then on to Las Vegas this weekend. So I've told my other sister, that I'm coming. Where can we go exercise and do water aerobics? So she's found a place to go do water aerobics. I said, I'm bringing my own food. Don't worry about food for me. And so I've got my plans. So I'm not a stressful guest. And she's supported to me in that, because she sees what my other sister and I are doing. So we might get her on this.
I love that
too. But anyway, I'm excited. I'm feeling healthier than I've felt for a couple of years since I've gained weight again. So thank you,
Polly. We are so proud of you. Only 20 pounds. 20 pounds is a big deal. And that is so exciting that you have family doing it with you. It's so much easier to get healthy with other people, because we become like the 5 people that we are around the most. And so if we're around people that are always complaining and looking for the negative, then that's typically how we're going to be. Or if we're around proactive people that are positive, looking for solutions, that is how we will tend to be too. And so I love that you've planned ahead. You're staying positive about the situation. You're bringing your meals with you. You've already planned your exercise. That is awesome. So proud of you. So you're going to do great.
Thanks.
Keep going. That's great.
Thanks.
All right, let's do one more share. Does then one more person want to share something that's going well for them? Natalie Russell, does it look like you want to unmute?
Sure. I
Awesome.
wasn't going to, but I will. I actually planned a Halloween party. I'm going to have it tomorrow night. And it's just going to be lean and greens. So I just invited anybody that's coming, if they want to bring something lean and green. I got some questions about what that meant, but yeah, it's going to be fun and I'm excited. We're going to all dress up, and I live far away from my family, which is normally a tradition that we have this Halloween party. And so my kids are super excited to just help with the kids' games, and we can just enjoy the community feel and just having friends.
How fun. I love that idea, because most Halloween parties, you go home feeling horrible, ate so much sugar. And so you are changing a tradition that people are going to, catch on to that, enjoy healthier food. You're showing such a great example and involving your kids in that. That is so fun. Love that. All right. So as we end, I want to just take a second to recenter. We always want to work on mindfulness and meditation, whatever you want to call it. But one thing I want you to envision is how you want to show up. What is the best version of you? What's the best version of Annabelle or Jack or Judy or Gina? How do you show up? What do you see? What do you say? How do you feel? What do you look like? How do you react when something happens? How are you showing up? What does that feel like? Get that clear picture of what the best version of you looks like. And so as we go into the holidays or whatever comes our way, we can remember what we're working toward. We have that goal and we have that clear picture of how we want to show up, because we create things twice. First, we create it in our mind, and then in actual real life. And so if you've already created these situations in your mind, you're going to show up better. So let's just take a few minutes. And I want you to think about a time that maybe you're reacting that you want to change. For me, I've got 6 kids, and sometimes, especially around dinner time, the older ones start pestering the little ones, and that's just stresses me out the most, is like when I have like fighting or chaos. That's where my brain automatically goes that I need chocolate. And so I have to recenter and realize that that is a buffer. That's my biggest point of when my brain is telling me to buffer these emotions, because it's uncomfortable. And so because I'm aware of that, I can change how I respond. I create that space, and I can change my actions. And so because I envision myself as the best version of me, of what the best mom would do in that situation, my best version, I can act differently. So as we take these few deep breaths, I want you to envision this situation, maybe that you easily react to, whether it be in traffic or around food or in a relationship, and imagine yourself showing up as the best version of you. And as we take that deep breath in, your stomach will come out. I like to envision my Optavia hot cocoa, and I'm just smelling it, getting this wonderful smell. And then as I breathe out, I blow on that hot cocoa. I smell it, and then I blow on it. Smell it. My stomach goes in as I breathe out. And sometimes it just takes a few breaths, creating that space between that stimulus and response, to recenter, to show up a little bit different, and to become conscious of how you want to create that empowerment in your life. And so that's my challenge for you, my friends, is this week, become more conscious of how you react in situations. Take a deep breath. Just take a few deep breaths, create a little bit of space there so that you can be proactive and show up how you want to as the best version of you. All right, I hope you guys have a great week. Keep working on your show up challenge goals, invite a friend to do it with you. And I thank you for hopping on with us tonight.